welcome to Let's Cook Again. Now today we're going to be cooking a version of a very, very old Italian dish which is called veal milanese. We're actually going to make it with chicken though because it's readily available from the supermarkets. So we're making chicken milanese with a little bit of hand-chopped basil, some pasta, a little bit of lemon juice on top of it, and dead easy to serve, dead easy to cook, take you about 10 minutes. And it is absolutely delicious. It's kind of a restaurant version of sort of chicken goujons, and is absolutely delicious. Great for families, kids, cheap to eat, cheap to buy, and delicious to eat. So we welcome again Eddie, who's going to be in charge of cooking this delightful dish. Thank you.
Hi there guys. Okay, so first off we're going to start off with the chicken. We've got our chicken breast here. When you buy chicken, it generally has a little bit of gristle, so we're just going to trim that off firstly, like so, and side. And then to make it cook faster, we're just going to literally slice our chicken breast in half, like so.
That looks delicious, Eddie. Now, traditionally when this is made, you'd actually get a whole piece of chicken and you'd flatten it out using either a rolling pin or a hammer and literally just sort of smack it down between a couple of layers of cling film just to make it really, really wafer thin. Now, obviously, we appreciate that not everyone has all the various equipment to do that at home. So just another simple way of doing it is just to slice the chicken breast in half just so that it cooks reasonably quickly. So Eddie's done the chicken breast there. He's now disappeared, but I can carry on talking. You can also do an Austrian version of this actually, which is Wiener Schnitzel, which is traditionally done with pork, exactly the same way, pork, breadcrumbs, cooked in a pan, loads of butter, and it's again absolutely delicious to eat. In fact, I ate it many, many times during lockdown.
Okay, so once we've done our chicken, we are going to pan it. Now panning is a process of egg and breadcrumbs. So we have our bowl here. We're going to crack one egg into the bowl, like so. If you drop any shell like I have, you just scoop out with a bit of the shell.
Apologies for that, it's Eddie's first time in the kitchen today, so everything's a bit new to him.
For a long time it is. Okay, and then we're just going to add a splash of milk into there. We're just going to give it a quick whisk until the egg and the milk is mixed together.
Excellent. And why are you doing that, Eddie?
So the breadcrumbs have something for it to stick to, basically.
Ah, excellent, excellent.
Okay. So just a little bit of seasoning on the chicken, like so. And we're going to throw the chicken breast into the breadcrumbs, like so. And just make sure that you throw it over in the breadcrumbs until you get a nice coat.
Right, and that's to dry the chicken breast out, isn't it? So the egg can stick to that as well, is it?
Exactly, yes. And once we've done that, it goes into our egg mix, like so. And then we mix it in the egg. And then we're going to go back into the breadcrumbs, just shake off any excess of the egg, like so. And we're going to give our fingers a little rinse in the water.
Are those breadcrumbs anywhere whereabouts do you buy them from if you need to get hold of some breadcrumbs?
They are readily available in all supermarkets.
Okay. Did you make them yourself?
You could, yeah. If you've got any leftover bread, you just leave it on the side to dry out, or you can put it in the oven to dry it all out. And then if you've got a food processor, you can put it into there and blitz it all up so it'll make breadcrumbs for you as well. So I'm just going to finish this chicken off. Okay, so now we've breadcrumbed the chicken, we're just going to move the board to one side while we get our pesto made. So I'll bring my clean board in here. So we're going to go with a rustic pesto. So we're going to get our basil. We're going to tear the basil off the plant like that. Get rid of that. And then we're going to just run our knife through the pesto, not too fine, I want it quite rustic looking, so just give it a little chop like so. Okay.
And pesto again, Eddie, is one of those things that you can buy, or
you can buy it, but it's not as good as freshly made. And then we've got our garlic clove here. So we just take the top and the bottom off, discard the rest, give it a tap like that, peel the outer on it, and then we're going to give it another smack like so, and just run our knife through it like that, so it goes quite fine.
And did you know, Eddie, that pesto is one of the oldest Italian ingredients? Dates back to Roman times, in fact, where it was called moretum. You can make it in a pestle and mortar, you can make it in a mixer, it depends. We're obviously today going to hand chop it. Now, Eddie's obviously got all the basil and stuff, a little board there, a little bowl there. Yeah. That will then go back onto the chopping board to all get really, really nicely chopped down.
We've got our pine nuts here, which we're just going to run a knife through quickly. Like so. We've got our Parmesan cheese, which we're going to give it a grate onto the board with the nuts. As you can see, it takes quite a lot of Parmesan. Like so.
And pesto actually goes really well with just a simple bowl of pasta and a bit of pesto. It makes a really nice dinner just on its own, even without the chicken. But I say it's one of those things that goes with everything really. And it's just, people do make it in the food processor, but we prefer it a little bit rustic, where it's really chopped down nice and fine, ground out, so everything gets mixed nicely through, and then we pour a bit of oil on top of it on the board, and then it'll go to a sort of mulch, I suppose, but it eats really well with the pasta. You can see that he's chopping this down, gradually going to make it into more of a sort of, not a paste format, but almost like a salsa really, I suppose.
That's the best way to describe it, isn't it? Okay, like Toby said, we're just going to add a little olive oil.
Keep chopping away just like that. Traditionally, people would put a bit more effort in than Eddie's putting in, but he's a bit out of practice at the moment, having not been in the kitchen for the last 6 months. He's getting tired now, so it's probably pretty much done. You can see now all that nice stuff there. Who doesn't like Parmesan? Who doesn't like pine nuts? Who doesn't like basil? Well, no one, I don't think.
Okay, so that looks like good texture to me.
That looks great there, Eddie. And then you're going to get your pan on, presumably for your chicken, are you, while that's all waiting around?
Click my pan on, like you said.
Oh, I'm hungry.
Just get a bit of heat.
I'm hungry already, Eddie. This looks tremendous.
So we're going to pop our Parmesan pesto into that.
And is this, you can only really serve this dish with pasta, Eddie, or could you have it with some sort of salad or something like that? If it's a nice summer's day, glass of rosé?
Yes, definitely. Pesto is quite a versatile thing. You can have it with salads, all sorts. Okay, so I'm going to bring the chicken back in now. And then a bit of olive oil into the pan. Get some heat into there.
And if you're doing that with pork, what sort of cuts of pork do you think you'd like to eat with it? Will you look at things like a whole shoulder, or would that be a bit strange? Would that work?
No, that'd be a bit strange. Go for tenderloin.
Right, okay. And do the same thing, or cut it into sort of little medallions?
You probably do it in medallions just because of the shape of the pork loin itself. And you can get it nicely thin, sliced. Okay, so we've got the heat in the pan now. I'm just going to go in with our chicken.
So really, this is not that far away from having sort of chicken Kiev or something like that.
It's very similar. You make the same processes to do chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets?
Yeah, you do chicken nuggets the same way. And then a little bit more heat into the pan there. Now we're looking just to make it golden brown. We don't want too much coloration at all point in time. So as you see, chicken's just cooking nicely there. I'll flip that over. So you can just see the golden brown coming onto the pan here. While it's cooking, because we've been touching the raw chicken, we're going to get our antibacterial spray. Just going to give the section a wipe down, like so. That chicken's coming on nicely. Just as it's coming to the end, I'm going to throw some butter into the pan. And that, as you can hear, it's sizzling away. So crank the volume up on the stove. And I'm just going to keep turning the chicken so we get that nice golden brown on it.
Well, that looks delicious, Eddie. Can we have a look at that on the camera, do you think?
We're going to give our hands a wash.
That looks pretty good. I'm sure the camera would like to see that. Nice and golden brown. Keep that cooking away.
Just keep it moving in the pan so it doesn't burn. Keep checking the coloration on it.
Okay. And what's the difference really between breadcrumbs and batter, Eddie, if you're making that with batter for chicken McNuggets?
Batter you need to deep fry.
Right, so you couldn't cook that in the pan?
No. Well, I suppose you could, but you make a heck of a mess. Okay, so that's the chicken cooked. I'm going to put that on the side now. So in the mix, we're just going to bring in our pasta that's been boiling in our pan. Just going to finish the pasta off on here.
And I noticed you've chosen macaroni there. Are these that one of your favourites, or?
No, it's what we've got available to us. But you can make this with any one.
Oh right, okay.
Any pasta.
So traditionally, I think it's made with a lot of people have it with spaghetti. There's actually restaurants in the area who will have sort of chicken milanese with tomato spaghetti, that kind of thing in, which they eat really well as well. And that pasta there, obviously, it's been cooking for how long?
Roughly about 10 minutes, so we've got another 2 minutes here just to finish it off for us here.
Okay, and obviously macaroni is really good because kids love it, basically. Everyone's made macaroni cheese, and it's like any pasta, it's affordable and just provides you with a nice, decent meal.
Okay, so now that the pasta is done here, we're going to use our sieve just to drain the pasta off.
Then
Now we want to just leave a little bit of water in here, just so when we add our pesto in, it gives it a little bit of moisture.
There's a bit of cheese in that pesto as well, so we want that to kind of melt down with the pasta.
And you just want to give it a good coating. So we've pretty much put all of this in here.
All the goodness that idea, isn't it?
It is. The smell is coming off the fresh basil is really good. So we're just literally letting that cheese melt down. Like so.
And if you didn't like pine nuts, could you just miss them out? Would it still be alright to eat?
Yeah, you could miss the pine nuts out and it'd still be very nice to eat. Yeah.
So a friend of mine actually, he traditionally makes his pesto using a lot of parsley and rocket to give it a little bit more veg substance when he's doing it hot or something like that.
Oh. And then we're just going to go in the bowl with the pasta here. Just get it central. And then we're going to get our chicken from the pan on top. Get rid of these out of the way. Now we're just going to finish it with a squeeze of lemon, fresh lemon, all over the top. so. And then another generous grating of Parmesan on top.
Well, Eddie, I must say, you've outdone yourself here. That looks absolutely beautiful. And I reckon the probably cost of that in the supermarket, I would have thought that's not going to cost you more than about £2 to do a portion of that. Which, oh, and look, he's got the Italian flag.
Finish off with the Italian
Beautiful.
flag.
That's excellent, Eddie. Well, thank you very much for today. And that is chicken milanese with macaroni and a lovely hand-cut crushed pesto. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.